Hey, hey. Whose show is this? Can't start without me, for God's sake. I'm John Zidar. This is the live session of On Top and Hot, where we're going to be talking about hot penny stocks that you guys gave me. And this is being sponsored by my job, Penny Boys, where I trade every day with the public. Maybe some of you are there. If you're not, why not? It's free. You don't even have to talk, just see what we do there. Pick up some information, how we're trading. We got strategies being shared in there. I mean, it's a great place to be. If you're not used to trading with others, it is an experience to be fed constantly, having people bring you information who want you to succeed, who want you to make money. It's not a competition. God, I love my job. So welcome, everybody. I'm glad to have you here. Let me see. I'm going to check my comments here, see if anybody is screaming at me. No, looks like I'm okay. I'm glad to see all of you here. Fillmore was the first one here. Of course she was. She's always first, and that's okay by me. I've got your ticker lined up. That was a hot ticker today. We're going to be looking at TRNR. Dino Trades. I appreciate the pick there. I think... What did I go with? IBIO. I do believe I went with that one. And would you believe that picture was the very first picture I had when I started making videos? I don't know why it came up today. Sometimes it throws it up as a default. I did not choose it. That was the very first picture over 2 years ago I started with. Hello, Mark. Appreciate you being here, buddy. Underdog. We've got your tickers. Absolutely. Jamie. Thank you, bud. That's where we've gotten to. LGMK. That was as much as I could do today. I'm doing a lot in the afternoon. I'm surprised I get as much done as I can, which means we'll probably have time to look at some other tickers. I'm going to try to keep it down. I see I spent a lot of time last week on the charts. That's my fault. I love the charts, and I get into them. I can really nitpick them and start talking. So we'll try to keep that down so we can look at some more tickers. So, Sandy, your QNCCF may have a chance along with Brian's LVO. I appreciate you guys being here. Hello, Kashira. ATCH. That was another one of those hot tickers we were playing today. SS Shenanigan? No, Shenanigan. I don't know how you say it, but I'm glad you're here. And Mark, talking about PEPG. Yeah, that was another runner today. We've got lots of hot stocks to consider, and we're going to jump into that right now. So let me push all the right buttons here, make you go cuckoo here. Yes, we're on target. I've been having a real hard time with my computer. I have a lot of windows open. I mean, I have a lot open when I'm trading on Penny Boys, and then I have a lot open when I do all this due diligence, and it starts to drain. Not just the windows, but because I have separate browsers, one that's hosting this show live, and then one I use all my due diligence on. And as soon as I open up Chrome, without a single page, 67 background pages open up on Chrome just to run Chrome. It's not a very light browser, that's for bloody sure. So we're going to take a look at ticker TRNR, which did come from Velmore. Let me get to my bullets here. Where'd they go? There they are. All right, this is a exercise equipment company working here in America and moving off into Europe as well. They've just added a big distributor in Germany. They have increased their revenue projections to 50 million. Folks, that is the big catalyst here. When we look at their revenues, I think they're under a million. They're under a million, so you're talking about 50 times a revenue increase here. And a very low float, but not as low as they tell us. So TRNR, she is a company out of Texas. Finished today at $1.44, was up just a little over 15% today. Hot penny stock on the major exchange. She's on the NASDAQ, where it doesn't cost you to buy or sell your shares. You can trade pre-market. Can't do that OTC. A lot more money, a lot more volume, a lot more rules up on the major exchange. And all of that is good for the investor. So what is this company about? Well, as I said, they are working with exercise equipment. They've basically got three. They have the Climber, which is a stair stepper that you climb up. They've got the 4Me and then the 4Me Golf. which is just using different, I mean, you can see it's really the same exercising equipment. They're just selling it differently. Now, I want to give you a view here. It's not just a mirror with equipment hooked up to it. It is a computer screen, a very, very huge one. I wonder if they got a better picture here. I'm sure they do. Well, this is a huge mirror where you can see yourself and you can see your coach. You have music come up on it. You can play music. It has a microphone. I don't know why you need a microphone. I guess you can talk to people on it. Lots of information comes up on this screen, and it's huge. It's not a little area. It's a very big area. So that's the products that they have got. Taking a look at the news, we are going all the way back to December, and you can keep going back. They've got lots of news. They are doing very, very well right now. Back in December, the company secured a distribution agreement with Planet Fitness. Also in December, the company secured a 162-unit climber commitment and signs an exclusive distribution agreement with Planet Fitness of France. They are already here in America. They did a $2.9 million raise from an institutional investor. Somebody probably filed a 13G for that. They signed a binding agreement to acquire Sports Tech, a profitable $40 million revenue-connected fitness equipment business. They now project that they will be doing more than $50 million worth of business this year, 2025. And they've just got a repeat order from Germany. They had one order that was 6 digits. That's putting it into the tens of thousands. We don't know how much, but tens of thousands. And they just got a second repeat order. And this is from a distributor that is selling their products over there in Europe. I don't know if it's just Germany, but that's where this distributor is at. The last piece of information I got here, I just want you to see what we have for the share count. When you come into these 10Ks and 10Qs, they're all set up the same, folks. This is where I get my float or my outstanding share count. All you have to do is come down just a little bit. The first or second blue box, it'll be down here with all of the information. Look for your common stock, your shares. It'll tell you how many authorized shares there are, one date and another date, and it tells you respectively. And here they do the same for the outstanding shares. 17 million as of September 30th, 2024. The other number is like 354,000, and that was back in December of 2023. Now, the reason I bring that up is because when you look at their share structure, we've got a low number here of 625,000. Well, that's not right. That was back in November. Well, the financial is a document. That's what you trust. And that told us that we've got 17 million in our outstanding share count. So that's what I'm going to go with. Don't know what the float is. You could figure it out if you subtract all the insider shares, but it's a decent float. Taking a look at the relative volume for the company today. Wow. Look at that, folks. She went from 2.5 million up to 125 million today. People are excited about this company. Already looked at the share structure. Let's take a look at the money. All right, this is the confusing part, right? Over the last 4 years, their revenues have been growing nicely, not incredibly, but nicely. But look at the profit margin. That's been growing as well, not nicely. It may be black here, but that's all red, folks. We are losing millions of dollars, and they're not even making $1 million. So projecting they're going to be making $50 million by the end of this year, that's a huge change in their revenues. Quarterlies, again, they are making money and it's growing, but they're still losing money. The only thing I can say here is they're losing less money. They're starting to make more and they're starting to lose less. So they're closing that gap up. Taking a look at the balance sheet. We got 3 zeros on these numbers on all these charts, in case I didn't tell you, if you're wondering where I'm coming up with all these big numbers. So this is actually 2.2 million. I think of this as the bank. This is all of their cash and cash equivalents. So we got about 2.5 million there, 37 million for the company's assets, about 32 million in their liabilities. So we are holding positive stockholder equity of just under $6 million. We've got revenues. We don't have profits yet, but we're not holding a bag. We've got about 6 million in stockholder equity. Taking a look at the disclosures quickly here. This is normally about shares going onto the market, and it is. They've got 3.7 million shares going onto the market. And it's already happened. And I can tell you that because of that right there, effect. You might see these 424s down here, but without an effect, it's just a practice run. It's just telling you about it hasn't happened. But once you see effect, it's a done deal. It's happening right now. All right, so we have got a lot of catalysts here. The company's projected 50 million revenue for this year. They just got another repeat sale order from Germany, a distributor. They got another distributor in France. They're doing quite well here in America as well. So the business is growing. All we needed was to hear the revenues were going to be coming in. And that's a huge jump from where they are to 50 million. So let's go take a look now at the chart. Ticker TRNR. Oh, just a quick glance here. I want to see, this was the last chart we were looking at Penny Boys today. We're always looking for hot charts ready to take off or already running. That's what we're playing. We're taking gains out of these runners, just grabbing stuff in the middle. We don't worry about how high it goes, and we don't care that we missed the beginning. But if you can catch the start, that's always nice. Well, DK, one of our free members, brought this to me at about 3:45, right about here. And I was looking at it, and this is a 200 squeeze. That's an atypical breakout, 200 on the top, 200 haul on the bottom. And we saw it right here while it was sitting on the 50. It's ready to go. Why it didn't go, who the heck knows? And then about 10 minutes after he pointed it out, boink, she started to climb. And she jumped here from about 81 cents to 90 cents just before the day ended. So let's jump on down to the ticker we're interested in. I've already got them here, so I don't have to go trying to type them in. Let's go all the way back to a year. I'm going to pull these lines off for now. Hopefully I remember to put it back up. If not, it's a lot of work to do it all over again. So TRNR. Hello, Kia. My dog just came up, so if you see something walking behind me, yes, it's allowed. TRNR over the last year. A full, no, that can't be right. All right. I don't know what's going on here because I can't see it, but obviously there has been a reverse split or a couple reverse stock splits. The reason I know that is because this high bubble is ridiculous. It says the high for this company a year ago was $3,240. No way. I'm not buying it at all. And since I don't know what the ratio is, I'd have to go do my due diligence. What I mean is when they do reverse stock splits, the price is kicked up, and normally you would see a big green bar. And then whatever happened, they don't do that anymore. The green bar is absorbed into the chart, and they multiply the entire chart all the way back to infinity by that ratio. So if it was a 1 in 10, every price on the chart is multiplied by 10. So if it was a high this day of $1, it now says $10. If they had 3 reverse stock splits, a 10, a 20, and a 30, that is 10 times 20 times 30, it's like 3,000. Now it's 3,000 times every number on the board, and it stays that way. They don't fix it. So the chart is right, but the numbers are completely wrong, except on the other side of the reverse stock splits, and I don't know where those are. So maybe it's these two things. I have no clue. So we had a downtrend over the last year, hitting a low here. I'm hoping that number's right, of 86 cents. She's underneath the 200 as she's been the entire year. But now we've got volume coming in, and we've got a very strong ADX. Yellow line is at the top telling you how strong the dominant trend is. The dominant trend is whichever one is at the top. Is it green? It's an uptrend. Is it red? It's a downtrend. We have a strong uptrend right now on our yearly chart. Coming down to our 6-month, 4-hour, really can't see much there. It's pretty flat. Let's focus in on the end result here. What we've got is another atypical breakout setting up. You've got the price that has been falling. 200 over top, 200 haul underneath. We need that 200 haul to go flat and start turning up. That will kick the price in the butt, and quick. Normally it'll move quite quick to and through the 200 when it happens. When the price is sitting on the 50 in between the 200s, there's a lot of pressure coming in on it, and it needs to escape. And it does not go down underneath the 200 haul. And if it does, it'll surprise you. It'll drop real hard for a crouch, and then it'll pounce. and it'll go straight to the 200 like a rocket through every single MA up over that 200, and then expect it to stop climbing and fall back to the 200. Took a lot of energy to do that run and break through that 200. So this is setting up nicely right now. PPO is climbing. Look at that ADX. ADX is on fire. MACD is climbing strong, and our RSI is up there at 56. It's a little cool, but I'll take it. Anything over 55 is good. 1 hour, pretty much the same as everything else. We had a nice breakthrough here, came back down though, hit a low bubble, jumped through, came back down to our 200 haul, broke it, came up over everything and back down. And look where it's landed, on the 20, not on the 200 or the 50, anything else. Way up here. Actually, it's on the 9. That is a beautiful landing, folks. She has come down just on the 9. The 20 is up underneath her. The 50 is working to do a crossover on the 200. This is setting up nicely for a continuation. Taking a look at our 5-day, 5-minute, swooping on down to that low, had a rip to a high from 80 cents to $2.54. That's a 300% run right there, folks, from aftermarket to just after the bell. And then she came back down to the 200, slammed it hard, stuck on it, took another run from $1.10 up to $2.46 today. Over 100% there. This time she's fallen back only to the 50, and she is changing her trend. Our 200 was falling. Right here is where it went flat, where we had our initial breakout. Now she's come down and bounced on it after the initial breakout, and now she's going to climb. This is textbook picture perfect, folks. She's now lost a lot of her momentum, but she looks like she's on an uptrend now, which is a good thing. But I'd watch her. This company puts out news. They are working hard to get distributors, and they post that news often. If volume comes in tomorrow, and you can see when the volume comes in, very first thing in the morning, Peter's off. After that, it's gone. There's nothing there, and we haven't had anything to compare it to. So watch it. First thing in the morning, and you can see pre-market is when she's running. Let's see when this started. That was at 7:15. That was at 7. It opens up at 4. It could run between 4 and 7, and I can't trade that. Schwab won't let me until 7 in the morning. Looks like most investors are watching us at 7 in the morning. You should too. All right, let's jump on into that next one, folks. And then I'll come talk to you a little bit. And I'm going to get rid of this to save some power. Close that group. Get rid of all those windows for me. Yay. All right. Next one we're going to take a look at is IBIO. This was the stock we played over at Penny Boys today. Who brought this to me? This was brought to me by Dino Trades. Let me get an eye in there for you. Dino Trades. This is an AI drug discovery company. Now, I just covered a company the other day, EY. No, that's not it. I forget the ticker. I covered another company that's working with AI and drug discovery. They're primarily focused on clinical drug trials, which is focused in on the people and which ones the drug is working on the best. This one is working on creating the best drugs they possibly can with all the insights that we would be overlooking. And one of the things I found curious is they moved markets. They went from the New York Stock Exchange over to the NASDAQ, and they did that for financial reasons. The New York Stock Exchange is very expensive. To initially get on it, it's like $300,000-$400,000, and it costs you $80,000 every year to be there. And anytime you do an offering, it costs you $5,000 or something like that. It's a lot of money. NASDAQ, I think, is like $75,000 to get up on. It's like $8,000 or $10,000 renewal fee every year. So it's just a lot cheaper for them. So IBIO, they're based out of California. Finished today at $5.05. Was up 34% today. I don't know why this still says New York Stock Exchange. Maybe they are still there, but the news tells us they've been approved for a move. And I like that. I thought they already moved in either case. So IBO develops next generation biopharmaceuticals using computational biology and 3D modeling of hard to target subdominant epitopes, along with its sustainable plant-based protein expression capabilities. You keeping up with any of that? I love reading information about biotechs. So what have I got here? All right. They are primarily focused in on cardiometabolic diseases, obesity, and cancer, as well as other hard to treat diseases. Now, looking at the news, I do believe this is where I'm going. I'm going to lose all my highlights. I can tell when it takes this long to load. Okay. Basically, there was only two pieces of news here I wanted to share with you. IBO discovers novel antibody targeting the Activin E collaboration with AstroBio. So they've collaborated with another company to focus in on this Activin E. Now, I can't really tell you a whole lot about it, except that they've discovered this is a culprit. This is something that is causing a lot of the disorders in people, and they have found a way to target it and get rid of it or do whatever the heck they got to do to it. The other piece of news was that they are to begin trading. So that was February 19th. This is the 27th. It says they will start trading up until March 3rd on the New York Stock Exchange, which I infer to mean March 4th, if that's a weekday, would be the very following next business day after March 3rd is going to be when they're on the NASDAQ. Not that it's going to make any difference. They're not going to change their ticker or anything like that. So that is all I see going on with this company. I couldn't find any real catalyst, anything kicking butt. Let's take a look at the volume. Well, maybe I missed something. Maybe going to the NASDAQ is friendlier to being on the New York Stock Exchange because our volume is kicked up 4 times 3, 12, about 13, 14 times her normal volume. Over the last 30 days, she's been doing roughly 375,000 shares a day. Today, she did just about 5 million shares. Share structure for this company, not bad. I don't know what the float is. I don't know what the insiders own, so I can't figure it out. Outstanding share count is about 10 million. Our float can't be any higher than that, and that's where a low float is beginning, 10 million. So whatever our float is, we have a low float. Market cap, we're currently at about 37 million. Financials, is this company making any money? All right, I don't know how long they've had this ticker, so I don't know if this is all their money. It was big if it was back in 2021, putting those 3 zeros on the end, we got 2.3 million, dropping to 1.8 to nothing at June of 2023, back up to 225,000 at June of 2024. And they're not paying anything for it right now. That's a little interesting. Quarterlies, I don't know what to make of this, folks. Some quarterlies, they have revenue, some they don't. They aren't paying for any of it. It's not very much. It's up to 200,000. Could be licensing fees, could be consultations, could be renting out their AI. I have no idea, but they have a little bit of money on the books. What's their balance sheet? Well, they got money in the bank. Got about $7 million there. 21 million in assets. Liabilities is about 1/3, 7-8 million. We've got stockholder equity of about 14 million. We're not holding a bag here either. Disclosures for IBO. Let me check something here about the news. It seems to me, yes, right here, because it wasn't highlighted. I missed it. There was about $500,000 of insider buys from the management and the directors of this company. I remembered that because I saw the Form 4s over here. When I looked at these Form 4s, it's none of those. These aren't buys or sells. When you come into a Form 4, this tells you the shares they've either acquired or disposed of, and they can do it in a lot of different ways. Up here is who, over here is who they are to the company, when they did it, and right in the center there is what you're looking for. There's going to be a code up underneath here. We don't have one. It'll be a P for a purchase, S for a sale. That's what we want to see. You see anything else, it's something else. If you want to learn, just come on down here and they'll normally explain to you what the heck it is you're looking at, if it's worth anything to you. So there was an investment further back. I also looked at this SC13G. This is for 10% by somebody I'm not aware of. So we've got interest in the company by insiders and outsiders, and they have just moved markets. That's what we got going on. So let's go take a look now. Ticker IBIO. It would be number 8 for me. It is. Let's get the biggest chart we can get. Let's kick it back to oh, I forgot to put my lines back up. Oh, I got to put all of Toner's lines back up. Whatever. Okay, we're going to do that again. And hopefully remember to put them back up. Maybe I don't have to touch them. All right, that is actually a yearly chart. It was a year ago. We had our 52-week low of $1.05. We had a nice pop and then came back down, and slowly she worked herself up over that 200 without any excitement, any eagerness. This is really a slow-moving stock. Now she is starting to pick up momentum. We've got all of our MAs in the right order. You want the smallest one on the top and the biggest one on the bottom and everything in the middle in the right order. This is perfect. She is floating on that 9-day, starting to climb. Picture perfect. Our oscillators, PPO is climbing. Our ADX looks like we have a crossover. Our downtrend is coming down. Our uptrend is going up where we want it. And our yellow line says it's getting stronger in that direction. Our MACD, that is climbing right now, climbing hard and fast. And we are actually in the overbought on our RSI. Our yearly chart is really looking good here. Drop on down to our 6-month, 4-hour view. Well, once she hit that low bubble, she has been in an uptrend. As I said, it's not been terribly quick or fast, but she has been climbing. She's been hanging around the 200 with some bouncing. Right now, she's actually pulled away using her 50-day MA as her floor. That's what she's bouncing on now. Now she's pushed up really high. Now, you've always got to worry when you see something go parabolic. It's got to come down. The question is, how far? Is it going to be a healthy dip, a controlled dip, back down to the 9 or the 20, or is it just going to come catapulting all the way back down to the 200? We'll get a better look at that when we look at a shorter time frame. We got lots of volume today. Everything is looking strong. All of our oscillators are climbing hard. Looking at our 1-hour, 20-day view, it's pretty much the same as our 4-hour view. You can see she's bouncing on the 200 here, and she has jumped up to the 50. Right here, she graduated to the 50, pushed herself up very hard. She's above her 9-day now. She's way the heck up here. Even here after she's pulled back, she's still way too far above the 9. Now, if she can just go sideways, that'll give the 9 time to catch up. She doesn't have to fall to it. If she can go sideways, everything can catch up. And once they get there, then she can choose if she wants to use it to jump off of. Again, all of our oscillators are on fire and going to the moon. Every single one is looking brilliant. Taking a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. So we were following the 200 haul here. Once our 200 haul started to fall, the price dipped underneath, fell underneath the 200. Once it started to climb, our price started to climb. So that is really where our current is coming from, the 200 haul. She's bounced off the 200 here and just launched. She had a catapult here. Something actually got people excited, jumping from $3.73, climbing all day with a little bit of settling right here on a strong support at 455. She went to 520. So from 377 to 520, $1.50, you're looking at about 45% run right there. And right now she is going sideways, just floating over top of that 9-day. It's looking pretty good. All of our MAs are smooth, climbing easily, lots of volume all the way to the end of the day. All of our oscillators are still hot. They are leveling off a little bit. We do have a crossover on our MACD coming down, but everything is still looking strong. IBIO is definitely worth putting on your watch list. Considering it doesn't cost you anything to put a ticker on your watch list, there's no excuses for not having it there. All we're doing is watching for volume come in. Boink. That's when you look at it, right? You've been told. Okay, let me come back and visit you folks. Let's see if there's any comments where I should be. John, answer your phone. It's so funny when you guys call me and I'm doing this because I refuse to answer the phone and you're doing your best to help me. I love it. Not really. It was quite embarrassing that day. Cooler. Yeah, cooler. You know, I'm starting to wonder if we go to hydrogen, if we start using hydrogen cells instead of lithium batteries, are we going to need half of the products that Cooler has? If we get away from lithium batteries, I know there's a lot of gadgets, there's a lot of computers and things like that that use lithium batteries, and their products have been approved by the UPS, I do believe it is, so that you can actually use their products to mail lithium batteries. You can actually send them on the airplanes now. You never could do that before. You can actually do that now. John Howell, glad to have you here, buddy. MBRX. I think I looked at that today. I don't think we actually played it, but I think that came across my radars today. Larry, good to have you here, buddy. Up on the news. I try to, but I'm not quite sure which news you're talking about. TRNR falling fast. Well, it's aftermarket, right? People are going to take their gains. Don't forget to hit the like button. That's what Mark Ryan says, but I'm going to back up Mark Ryan on that. Okay, folks, looks like I've covered all of you. Let's get back to another ticker. Let me get rid of that. Sorry, Mark, nothing personal, buddy. You got a beautiful head, but we don't want to stare at it for the entire time. Jumping back to our tickers. Let me get rid of some more pages here so I get more power. Boink, get out of here. I hit the wrong one. Oh my God. I hit the wrong one. Hold on here. Let me see if I did something. I did this before and I confused myself. I just moved it to a separate page. You can't believe how hot and cold I'm feeling. All that due diligence would have been gone and I'd have been, every show has got some new epic. Okay, we are looking at ticker NIXX. I do believe that is number 3. This comes to us by the Underdog, not Underdo. This company's involved with what they call reciprocal telecommunications. I was looking at what they did, trying to figure out what I would call it. I have no idea. They say they work with technology. You'll see what I'm talking about. The company says they are projecting revenues of $25 million a month starting in March. They are making $300,000 a month right now, folks. And they say they're going to be doing $25 million next month. I think we found our catalyst. Do we need to look anywhere else? Okay, let's go look at that chart. Okay, just kidding. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here. NIXX, Nixie Inc. I don't know where they're from. I can't trust any of this information, folks. It says recruiter.com. We've got information here. We've got a website. I went and looked. It confused me. I went through the entire website and finally realized there's not one mention here of Nix. I went down to the bottom looking for investor information. There's no mention of Nix. I don't think recruiter.com is a part of Nix. I think that's the company that used to be here and they haven't changed it. So, no. This has nothing to do with what we're looking at. What is Nix about? Oh, I'm going to lose my highlights. Okay, let's start with who Nix is. This is what they tell us. Nixie is committed to transforming traditional markets through cutting-edge technology and data-driven insights. By acquiring cornerstone businesses in established industries and evolving their operations with innovation, Nixie unlocks new potential and creates opportunities for transformative growth. Any ideas? Right. I don't have any either. So we had to start digging around here to get some information. And the website that I found was the worst website. You got a full page and the website takes up a little square in the center and you got to stretch it off. And they don't really give you any hardcore information. Most of what we're seeing here is what's over there. Oh, I lost my highlights. Okay, I lost my highlights like 13 times today. I had to keep redoing it because I don't have enough memory when I have that many pages open. So I highlighted this so many times. I remember all of this. I remember. We had news back in January where they had a private offering for $50 million backed by Bitcoin, but they canceled it. So we don't have to talk about that at all. They then tease us about an undisclosed acquisition by the end of the month. We're going to cover that. That does come up here. They then tell us again that they're withdrawing from the Bitcoin deal. So that is not even coming back into the picture. Nixie's Aurora Link, which is one of their subsidiaries, it's an AI company, has entered into a multi-billion-dollar telecom and data sectors business. Aurora Link announces up to $120 million AI-enabled reciprocal telecommunications services agreement with global technology provider. Now, I'm going to come back to that information because I do want to look at this. There's two pieces of news that kind of go hand in hand that I want to look at. Then they tell us here that they announced a $10 million share repurchase program. That's always a good thing. That's going to give us more shareholder value. And then we've got a piece of news that came out today. Nixie provides business updates, including contract developments, which talks about the deal down here, and their regulatory filing withdrawal, which they didn't even mention here, which is a great thing. I know a lot of companies use this, as far as I'm concerned, as a cheap trick to get the stock to jump. So let's see if I've got the right piece of news here. All right, I lost my highlights. That's okay. Did it 13 times. The company's wholly owned subsidiary, or Aurora Link AI, entered into a 12-month contract with Mexidia SPA, an Italian-based technology communications provider, which is traded on Euronext Growth in Paris. Mexidia had revenues of $323,000 last year, $323 million last year. Commencing on or before May 2025, Aurora Link AI will provide Mexidia SMS service over its newly integrated cloud-based platform that helps carriers, operators aggregate wholesale SMS messaging. When I was over in Scotland, every text message cost them 5p, a nickel. Every text message you sent was a nickel. My son was taking money out of the bank to pay for text messages, and his text messages would be, "Hey, what's up? Not much. You?" And it's like, no, you're not going to. So yeah, they actually sell text messaging still. Aurora Link has engineered its port provisioning to scale dynamically and be able to support up to $10 million in revenue per month for the next 12 calendar months. Now, this leads us into the other piece of news that I want to talk about. Talking about that, they say the company believes it will begin generating revenue from Mexidia contract in March, not May, marking a significant step forward in its growth strategy. The company anticipates that as it scales operations in this business line, it can achieve projected monthly revenue run rate of approximately $25 to $27 million a month. Now, something they did not talk about was their S1. An S1 was filed, I think it was back in November. This is when you're going to put more shares on the market. You got to file an S1 in advance. And they have an S1 filed for, let's see how many shares this was, 20 million shares. They withdrew it. They're not going to be putting 20 million more shares on the market. Was that 20 million or 20? Yeah, 20 million shares, not $20 million. 20 million shares. So that's been pulled. So they're not doing a public offering of 20 million. They are doing a $10 million stock repurchase program. And they're now got a deal with another company that's going to be immediately pulling in revenues. Everything is looking golden for this company. Let's see what the relative volume says. Did everybody see all that? Yeah, I'd say so. We were doing about 500,000 shares a day, every day over the last 30 days. Today, we did 62.7 million shares. You're looking at 120 times her normal volume. Wow, folks, that is huge. What a jump. She finished today at $1.71. Did I miss telling you that? She was up 8.2% today. Taking a look at the share structure for the company. I'm glad they didn't put 20 million more shares up there. That would have more than doubled. That would have caused this stock to fall more than 50%. You'd have seen it catapult down to the ground. We have got 13 million shares right now. Don't know what the insiders own. Don't know what the float is. It's going to be less than 13 million. We've got ourselves an excellent float that isn't going to be tampered with. And they plan on buying $10 million worth of shares. Well, they're currently at $1.71. So what does that give you? Like 7.5 million. How many shares is that? What are they going to do? Take us down to sub 5 million? I'm liking this company. I'm going to keep Nix on my watch list for a very long time. They're doing a lot of good things here for the shareholders. Let's take a look now at the financials. Are they making any money? That's the important part. Okay, again, I never know how long these companies have been around, so I don't know if this is all of their revenues or not. 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, we were at 8.5 million in 2020, up to 22 million in 2021, hanging around that area in 2023. This year, though, at the end of 2023, we were down to $3 million. Maybe this company just got the business or the ticker. I have no idea. I've not done a deep dive, folks. Sorry about that. Quarterlies, they're doing less than between 100 and 200,000 every quarter. That's not a whole lot of money. And here recently, they're not even paying for it. And that's a pretty steady number, 133, 135,000. Not quite sure where that revenue is coming from. So yeah, it's nice to hear they got some big money about to start rolling in. Cash and cash equivalents, we got about 2.2 million, 11 million in assets, about 4 million in liabilities, which gives us positive stockholder equity. We haven't held a bag today at all. We've got about 7 million here. So we have a wee bit of revenues, a wee bit of profits, and we've got some stockholder equity. From a day trader standpoint, it's good. It's all in the black, not looking bad. Looking at our filings, I was wondering if I had looked at any of these. 8K, this is going to be a material change. This is the contract, the 12-month contract we just looked at in the news. An RW. I don't even know what an RW is. You'd think I would. Oh, the withdrawal. Now I know what an RW is. You thought I knew that, right? I'm going to start looking for these. As far as I'm concerned, an RW is a catalyst. You would not believe how many times when I'm posting news in the morning, I see a company post news, and the only news they've got is we're withdrawing our S1. We're not going to do a public offering and dilute the shares. That's exciting. It's a cheap way. Put an S1 out there, you could bring the stock down. It's a gamble, but when you withdraw it, they do normally run. So this stock's got all kinds of reasons to be running right now. We got another 8K on the 21st of this month. Material change. Let's see, asset purchase with Savitar Tech OU, an Estonian corporation. What are they doing here? Looks like they've got, looks like they've just got a new investor for 300,000. That's good too. All right. So they are catching a lot of attention, not just from little guys like us, but big investors as well. So let's go take a look now at ticker NIXX. I don't have to do that. I've set it up to make things easy on myself. Number 7, Nix, going back to a year. Well, that's an interesting chart, isn't it? Wow. She's been basically on a soft uptrend for most of the year. She was back here at $1.20. That was all the way back in April of last year. We had a couple of real nice jumps here. Maybe these correlate to some news or a filing. Came back down to the 50, and then we had a breakout. This one kept going for many a days, floating on that 9-day. When she fell, now this is kind of interesting. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but these solid bars are sticking to the MA they're riding on. The wicks themselves are falling, not the bar, not the price. The price did go with the wick, but you can see it came right back up. When I see wicks fall through MAs and go deep and come right back up, to me, that says it's still looking to climb. It's just putting a foundation in the ground to keep things from getting wobbly as it gets taller and taller. So we had a couple of those wicks pushed down to the 20 here over and over again, and then we had a nice push away. Big fall. That's a long ways to go. She picked up a lot of momentum, pushed herself through the 200, tried to get back up on it and couldn't do it. Came all the way down here, and we are hitting a low down here of about $1.35 and bouncing off of that, hitting our head on the 20. Take a look at our 6-month, 4-hour. All right. You can see she has been going kind of flat. She hasn't been doing anything until recently. And this is where I'm going to get rid of these lines, folks. Somebody please remind me to put them back. Please call me. Just ring the phone. I won't answer it. I'll know to put my lines back, though. So what we've got here on our 4-hour chart, it's slowly setting up for an atypical. So you can watch it. When the price fell, all the MAs are over its head. She can't do anything until she starts getting on top of those MAs. Right now, she's on top of the 200, but she's still got everything else to climb on. There's our 200 MA at the top, 200 haul at the bottom. When she starts climbing, she's going to put herself on that 50 in between the two 200s, 200 squeeze. This is so common, folks, and it breaks out more often than not. So this is one of those bearish, bullish patterns that you should be looking for all the time. Anytime a stock has been falling for a long time, as soon as it starts to recover, this is what you're going to be looking for. So this is setting up. Once that 200 haul starts to level out and turn up, I'd be looking for a run to and through that 200. Our volume has come into the picture now. Our oscillators were hot, but they've cooled back down as she fell down to the 200 haul. Take a look at our hourly chart. Ooh, that don't look too good, except to say that our 200 MA, which has been falling hard here, is just now leveling off. It's not flat, but it is definitely close, right? I should have this change colors. I would like to know when my 200 goes flat. This is going to become tempting now, folks. We have got a 200 haul here, which is virtually flat, a 200 MA, which is virtually flat, and the price, which is hopefully going to start climbing and get up right there on that 50, and it's going to be in a launch zone. Again, we've got ourselves a stock to be watching. 5-day, 15-minute, every single chart is the same thing. Falling 200 that has just gone flat. She did fall under it, which is a bit sad, but with all of these MAs over her head, she really doesn't have much choice. That's like 3 or 4 waterfalls coming down on you. It's tough to come up when all of that is pushing down. So really, what I am expecting is for her to make a sideways motion while these all get closer. There's our 9. There's our 200. She isn't going to jump to the 200. I think she's waiting for the 20 to come down underneath the 200. She'll get up on top of the 20. While she's doing that, these big ones are going to be coming closer. This is going to be a very unique situation here, folks, because everything is actually starting to climb with the fall in the midst of it. So I think we're going to get a nice ripple effect here. This is another stock to be watching, and I'm going to put this on my watch list permanently, NIXX, because I like what the management is doing here. They're doing lots of things that are giving shareholder value. They're posting this news. I'm also going to see if this company has a Twitter account, because that can definitely get a stock running as well. Oh, we just had another down push here. Was that you guys? Oh, bless you. You guys are sweet. All right. All I got to do is hit my 2 numbers and where? Oh, you guys went to all the trouble to remind me and they're not coming back. That's my life. That I appreciate you, though. Whoever just called me, thank you. You are the man or the woman, whichever the case may be. I am gender specific. I'm just stuck that way. All right, let me see what's going on over here, folks. David, RJ. Good to see you, RJ, in a matter of speaking. I know you're out there somewhere. Okay, what do I got? Do I have any? I have 1 ticker left, don't I? I do. Let me get rid of the Wizzy contact. And let's get back over there. What time is she? 4:49. We're not doing bad. We are now going to take a look at, I'm going to get rid of all these so I can get more power. Hold on. Got to hit the right one or I give myself a minor heart attack here. Yes, we're good. We are now looking at Logic Mark, ticker LGMK. Logic Mark came to me by way of, who brought me Logic Mark? Let's see here. Coming over to my other computer so I don't have to blind you guys. This comes to me by Where is it? Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. I want to give credit where credit is due. That's why I take the time to look. I didn't find these stocks. You guys did. So this is a company that works with medical alert devices. You know, I've fallen down and I can't get up. I know the feeling. Not yet, but I'm getting close. That's the sort of business they're in. What? Is it the same guy? No, it won't work. I tried, but I appreciate you reminding me. They just got coverage from Medicaid for their product for some states. We'll cover which ones. They just had a huge public offering, more dilution, and they had a reverse stock split back in November. So in November, they did a 1 in 25 reverse stock split, brought the stocks way down, and now they're pumping more shares onto the market. I don't like that. This isn't a company that's got my great attention so far. Okay, LogicMark is a company out of America. She's based in Kentucky. She finished today at 21 cents, let's call it. She was up a little over 4%, about not even a penny. Didn't even go up a penny today. She is a hot penny stock on the NASDAQ. So rather than read this, a picture says a lot more. We're jumping over to their website. This is logicmark.com. They sell the Freedom Alert, and they've got it in two sizes, the basic push button for help, or one that has more functionality, more benefits. Also comes with a charger. Right now, they're actually giving the devices away. Of course they are, because you pay a subscription fee every month for it. The more people they get, the more money they make. Now, some of the things that come with this, when you turn it on, you are connecting Oster to the Bluetooth. This is going to give you GPS tracking, not for you to know where you're at, but for everybody else to know where you're at. Your caring community, your little village, your family, your friends, your church, whoever's helping you, they're going to have this information too. That's going to tell them where you're at. Along with that, you get this unique hold until safe button. Maybe you're walking through a bad neighborhood. Maybe you're walking down a long flight of steps on an icy day. You hold that button until you're safe. If you let go of it without, being safe and don't grab it again, people know something's wrong without you having to say anything. Another one is follow me feature. This is basically you checking in. If I got the device, I check in every 15 minutes or every hour. If I don't check in, it automatically alerts my community with a message. Something's maybe up. You may need to check on John. And then the last thing is the home screen. Your emergency contact is on the very front screen. So if you've had a serious situation, the last thing you want to do is be fumbling with your phone, trying to get to the right screen to get to the right number. It's right on the very front, so they never have to fight with that. So that's the product, and they sell it through subscriptions. Looking at the news, as you can see, it was highlighted. I've lost my highlights because it's taking too long to load. Doesn't matter, I remember. Okie dokie. This is the piece of news that we're going to take a look at. LogicMark secures approval to provide essential safety devices through the Medicaid waiver program. Doesn't matter, I've lost my highlights here too. I only had the top sentence. The new program will enable seniors in Colorado, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Nevada, and South Dakota to receive reimbursement for monthly monitoring fees when leasing the LogicMark's personal emergency response system, their PERS. And I think there was one other piece of news there, two actually. They have launched their next generation of the 911 alert. They make that work on their devices. And they have just had a public offering of 14.4 million. How many shares is that going to be? Whoa! Well, at 20 cents, that's 5 times 14. That's 70 million more shares. That's a lot of extra shares, somewhere around there. So that's what we got going on in information. Let's see what we have going on with volume. Well, we've got a little over double what she normally does. She's doing an average of about 1.8 million over the last 30 days. Today, she did about 4 million. Share structure for LGMK. Right now, we've got ourselves a really low float. I don't know what it is, but it's not going to be any higher than 1.8 million, which is the outstanding share count. And they're about ready to add 70 million shares. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's only 50 million. Folks, that's 50 times, 25 times what we got there. That means the stock is going to be worth 25 times less than what it is right now. I see a big fall coming. How can it not? You flooded the market with shares. There was less than 2 million, and now there's going to be over 50 million, whatever it is, over 50 million shares. Not a happy camper. Market cap for the company currently $361,000. They're going to lift that market cap up by doing that. And maybe that's why they got to do it. Because on the major exchange, you have a minimum for everything. How many shareholders? You don't have enough shareholders, they'll throw you down to the OTC market. You better go get some more shareholders. You don't have a big enough market cap, stockholder equity. If your price on the market isn't right, they'll kick you off down to the OTC market. So when your market cap gets too low, you can't really change the price, but you can change the amount of shares, which is how you change the market cap. And a lot of times it's like 15 million or 35 million is the minimum that they got to be. So they may have to kick the share count way up just to get the market cap up so that they don't get kicked off of the major exchange. That would be a viable reason to do it. Taking a look at the financials for LGMK. All right, just presuming they've been here all this time, they've been doing roughly between 10 and 12 million, pretty steady, and they've been between 5 and 7.5 million on profit pretty regularly year after year. They are on the low right now, just under 10 million. Quarterly reports, again, pretty regularly, about call it 2.5 million, roughly every quarter, and they're doing roughly 1.5 million in profit every single quarter. Balance sheet, we got about 5.5 million in the bank, 16 million in assets. Oh, I like that. 1.8 million in liabilities. So we've got 12.3 million equity. Company's looking better. Yeah, I maybe jumped the gun. They've got revenues, they've got stockholder equity, and I do believe that the public offering is for the good of the company. I think if I dive deeper, I'm going to see they're in hot water right now. I have not gone through all their filings. And if you don't want to go through all the filings to see what's up with the company, if you have a suspicion of what you're looking for, just go to Google, put in the ticker, put in the company name, and put it what it is you're looking for. Split, consolidation, public offering, whatever. Just put that in, and you can normally find it just through Google. Take a look at our disclosures. LGMK. Oh, how did I miss that? We got an SC13G without an A. A means it's amended, which means it didn't come out today. It came out some time ago. This came out today. This is a new investor. Somebody who's buying enough shares, they're going to become an insider, a partner. This is Bigger Capital Fund. They have just bought themselves 490,000 shares. That is just under 10%. That's where everybody likes to keep it. You go over 10%, it's a different ball game for you. So everybody likes to keep it under 10%. So we've got somebody that's jumped in. This pre-14A, this is a warning that they're going to be putting shares on the market. They got a lot of these, that 423 and this one. These are, oh, this is about a meeting. I do make mistakes. I am human. That's what I wanted to see here. I see a reverse stock split being talked about here, but this is for preferred stock, preferred C, preferred B. You can't do another reverse stock split. So they've done one to the common stock, A. Now they're going to do a reverse stock split to C and B. That's going to piss off the insiders. They're not going to like that. I don't see anything else here. So they got a stockholder meeting coming up. Ooh, we got another SC13G here just a week ago. LI Capital Group got themselves 500,000 shares. They too own 10% of the company. So we've had two new insiders come in. That's 20% of the company that just got bought up here in the last 2 weeks. Let's go take a look now at the chart for LGMK. Do you believe it's number 6? Lots of lines. I don't want to take my lines down anymore. Even when you remind me, I still can't get them back up. That is the 4. All right, I'm not going to go back any further. That's our 4-hour, 6 months. We've had a reverse stock split. This was a 1 in 25, which means you have to divide all the numbers by 25. So our high bubble here of $24 divided by 25 is going to come out to something like 74 cents, something like that. So that was the high here, 74 cents. It was a quick bolt up over the 200. Came back down, fell hard, been down here for a long time. She just keeps drooping further and further. Now, from 74 cents, which is where it was before the stock split, down to 18 after the stock split. I guarantee you that's not the way it really lays out. So let's just forget everything back there. So we've been underneath the 200 here forever, folks. I'm trying to, God dang it, I don't want to take my lines off. I'm going to go down to my 1 hour. I don't want to take those off. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm taking my lines off. I hate to do this, but you really can't see the chart unless I do. God, every one of those I got to put up by hand. All right, so she fell here. Right here on the 18th, we had a drop from 55 cents down to 29 cents. She's been going sideways, at another drop down to 18 cents, and she's still going sideways. And with this reverse stock split, it may be good for her. Honestly, I'm thinking it has to do with the market cap. That's way too low. There's no way a stock on the NASDAQ can have a market cap under $1 million. Just can't happen. I am not, now, truth of the matter is, it could go up. I mean, I have seen public offerings that actually cause a stock to run, and it befuddles me. So I'm hard pressed here to tell you what's going to happen. In my opinion, my honest opinion, I think she's going to fall. That's a heck of a lot of extra shares to be put in on the market, folks. And we're at a low float right now. And if she hasn't been jumping with the low float in any of the stuff that's been going on, why would this make it jump? I'm just having a hard time seeing it happen. She is actually in a setup for an atypical breakout. If she could get on top of the 50, and I think that's going to be the problem. We had that situation here. We were on the 50. The 200 haul turned up. We were right there. There's the 200. She should have jumped right here, and she went down. Now, I would have said, oh, wait a minute. This could be the crouch before the pounce. Not everything does the same thing all the time. So I am not thinking this is going to break out. I am feeling a negative vibe here, folks. So even though it's for a good reason, I think it's going to be a while before this stock comes up. Our oscillators, let's take a look at those. Our PPO, well, that's underneath the line. Doesn't look like it's going far. It is climbing, but it looks like it's about ready to pull away from it. Well, look at this. We have got a uptrend on our ADX as the dominant trend, with the downtrend falling away. But it's a very weak uptrend. This is falling down too, which tells me how strong this is. So I'm not expecting it. May just dribble. You know, it is an uptrend, but not a lot, just kind of hanging there. Our MACD is actually climbing, believe it or not. Now, this is interesting. The price is on a gradual downcline. It's not strong, but this is strong. That is a very strong uptrend. This is, let's just call it flat. That's a divergence. Now, when a divergence changes, it normally adjusts to the oscillators. The price changes to meet the oscillators. This is climbing. This would turn and climb, which tells me this says she is ready to start climbing. The ADX, the MACD, and our rising RSI says she's about ready to climb. My overall impression with the news says she's going to fall. And that's why I don't like to read the news, because the news gives me a disposition to think about what's going to happen. And I am wrong a lot. Reading the news, I am wrong a lot. So the chart says this is ready to go up. I say it's ready to go down. Who's going to be right? Take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. Well, we've got that set up, don't we? We've got the 200 haul pushing up, 200 MA coming down, getting closer and closer now. Price right in the middle, right above the 50. 200, or not 200, the 9-day MA is starting to push up. She could pop. To me, it's a coin toss, folks. I am not putting my voice on the line either way here. I really can't tell. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my watch list. I am not thinking about playing it, but I am interested to see what the chart does. I want to learn something from this. So I'll be putting LGMK on my watch list just to watch it. Maybe you want to watch it for volume, because if she runs, it could be a good run. Could be. That is all the stocks I had set up to look at. Let me come on back and see what you guys are doing. And where are you at? Did you guys move? Nah. I hate that when people move the car on you. You come out and it's like, they left. Mark, $10. Boom. I can almost afford a 6-pack today. I don't drink. But you know, my vapes, my THC vapes are $6 for 89% THC, a $6 vape. That'll last me a lot longer than a 6-pack of beer. I'll tell you that much. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it, man. What a nice guy. He hits me up every week. I'm going to have to probably put him on my Christmas card list. Don't forget to tip your wizard. All right. What time is it? 5:06. We have got time to look at some other stocks. Let me jump up here. Let's see here. How do I pick? Brian, you had LVO and you said please. Oh, that helps. Sandy said please too, though, for QNCCF. I know that's an OTC stock because of the F for foreign. ATCH, Kashera, that's been a hot stock. Definitely a lot of activity. Cooler, we've looked at Cooler a couple times, but I'm really not sure what's going on with her. PEPG. Is that a penny stock? PEPG. I think it is. Mark asked for it. I would only share it, not because Mark asked for it, because I want to share a hot stock with you guys. I want you to make some money. KO bubble, about to burst. Well, we don't want to play a bursting bubble, do we? MBRX, another please. Oh, you guys are getting to me. Okay, why don't we look at, I'm going to go with Sandy. I'm going to go with an OTC stock, QNCCF. Sound okay to you? Okay. QNCCF, push my button. Make sure you can see what I can see. QNCCF. Now, when I do my due diligence without, I'm going to do my due diligence the way I normally do it, folks. When I do it for you, I do it my way, but then I set it up so I can share it in a certain way. We haven't done any due diligence. So just to make it easy so I don't forget anything, I don't overlook anything, I just start from the left and go to the right, and I get my information that way. So we are looking at QNCCF. This is Quantum Emotion Corporation. I wonder if they're working with quantum computers or if they're just using the name. The company is based out of Canada. They finished the day at 48 cents and we're down about 10% today. They're on the middle tier of the OTC, the QB, which is a better tier. It's better than the pinks. The pinks are the riskiest stocks you'll ever invest in. QB, you got to start getting validated information, which is what makes the pinks so risky. There's no validated information. QBs, you have to have your financials audited. They don't do that with pinks. Your stock has to be at least a penny. And we start getting filings. We start getting information besides news presses. We've got a company verified profile and a transfer agent verified. I tell you to look for these on every stock, especially the pinks. And we've got a certification here because they are a foreign company. They've got to meet another criteria. That tells me they've met it. So this company's looking good. So let's see what this company is about. Located in the greater Montreal, Canada, QNC is an advanced developer of new generation cryptographic solutions based in quantum random number generators. Sounds like we're dealing with quantum protection. The only way you can fight quantum computers, which can hack any cryptology we have, any password, there's no way to lock up digitally from quantum unless you have quantum fighting it. So quantum has come up with a password that never stops moving. It is always moving. Now, of course, we don't have to put in that password, but that's how they protect it. Let's see what we can learn here. Just jumping over here, I do this just to get a little more information about the company, make sure I'm getting all the purest information. Come down here to a, wow, that's a big news press. You see the size of that bad boy? And out of all that, you're not, D-Wave Quantum, Quantum Emotion recently announced a non-exclusive licensing agreement with Quantleo, a leading provider of AI-driven financial solutions, granting Quantleo access to Quantum Emotion's proprietary entropy as a service technology. That is what I was talking about, that constantly moving password, enabling groundbreaking advancements in financial applications. Let's see what else we got here. Just a lot of different companies here talking about, yeah, that's what this is. Breakthrough Quantum Chips promises to bring industrial scale computing sooner than anticipated. So let's go back here and start from the left and go to the right. Relative volume was way down today, dropped from 1.7 million shares as a daily average over the last 30 days to under 500,000 shares. Share structure for the company. We got about 172 million outstanding. No clue what the insiders own. No clue what float is. Just to say it's not going to be any more than 172 million. Could be considerably less, depending on what the insiders own. Market cap, we're at about 91.5 million. Is this company making any money? Bummer. We got no monies on the annual. No monies on the quarterly. What is the excitement here? Okay, looking at their balance sheet, we got about $190,000 in the bank, $600,000 in assets, $315,000 in liabilities. So we're holding a wee bit of stockholder equity in this company of $288,000. Looks like a startup company. They've got a little money, a little assets, a little liability. I mean, honestly, a real startup company has a lot of liabilities because they had to spend a lot to get started. This has got a little of everything right now. Taking a look at the news now. Let's see what we got going on. Making sure this is current news. Yep, 2025. Breakthrough Quantum Chip promises. Well, we just read that. And there was a lot of news there. So you may want to jump into that. They may be making a point. We saw a lot of big name companies in there. There may be information about them being hacked or about them being interested in this company. We haven't got time to go through it all. Known Technologies announces Excalibur, world's first quantum secured crypto cold wallet powered by quantum emotion. All right. Emotion, not emotion. Emotion. Quantum Emotion secures $1 million in licensing fees to advance quantum AI in financial technology. See, that's how you make money without spending any money. Licensing fees. Sure, you want to use it? Just pay us every month and we'll let you use it. I love digital products. eQuantum or Quantum Emotion and Energy Plug Technologies partner to bring quantum cybersecurity to energy management. And let's see if we got any more deals down here. Quantum Emotion initiates formal action and provides update on recent statements by Terra Nova. This doesn't sound good. Initiates formal action. This sounds like something you would do if you were doing a lawsuit of some sort. Just taking a quick glance in here. The company wishes to provide an update regarding the disclosure Terra Nova Defense Solutions communication security platform, which since has been removed. In response to that situation, QEM, with the assistance of legal counsel, has taken formal action by sending a demand letter to Terra Nova. The letter requests that Terra Nova correct its previous statements and provide assurances regarding the confidentiality of QEM's information. Ooh, sounds like they did a little bit of slandering or something like that. So they're trying to clean up their reputation is what they're trying to do here. Let's see. What other news we got? We pretty much saw they've got some deals going on. It looks to me like they've got a lot of deals happening right now. Known technology deepens collaboration with quantum emotion. Emotion secures $2.25 million from warrant exercise. That's good. They've got $2.5 million halfway through January. But that also means that for every warrant they exercised, there was a new share put on the market. Most people don't know that, but every time a warrant is exercised, a new share is created. So if you see $20 million of warrants, that's $20 million worth of shares that just got added to the OS. And let's take a look at our disclosures. We see lots going on here. I'm expecting no disclosures. All right, we've got financials, but we don't have any filings here. Their most recent financial came out in November. If you want to get some information about the company, this is going to be the easiest place to get it. All those deals that we were just looking at, those are all going to be in their financials. So you can take a look at that. So let's go take a look now at QNCCF. After reading all that, I'm not quite sure what to expect here. Let's go back a year. Do I have any lines on this chart? We did. We played this a while ago. I can't tell you which day we played it. Normally, I would put blue lines on the chart, but geez, I just have so many lines on my charts these days. So a year ago, we had a 52-week low. Doesn't look like we've had any reverse stock splits. That low is, let's call it 6 cents. That was all the way back in March of last year. It wasn't until November, probably when that news came out, that she started to move. She went from, call it 8 cents, up to $1.72. Oh my God. From 8 cents to 80 cents is 1,000%. Go up to $1.60 is 2,000%. You're over 2,000% run here, folks. Now, of course, that's a long hold for us, right? This is a daily chart. Every single one of these bars is constituting an entire day. And there were some huge runs here. Look at this. On January 2nd, this stock hit a low of 64 cents and hit a high of $1.72 and came right back down to this very strong support resistance right there at $1.06. Fell underneath that, down through everything except our 200. Something's holding it here. We'll see on one of the other charts. Something is holding it. She bounced here at about 29 cents, came up underneath my Fibonacci. I was using this because when we started playing this, where was I going to get supports and resistances back here? There's no historical price points. So I would use one of these bars, one of these big rips, and put a Fibonacci on it, and then drag that Fibonacci up and use that as my supports and resistances. And that's exactly how that got put there. Let's jump on down to our 6-month 4-hour view. See if that makes any sense. What do we got here? We've got a climb. She's bouncing off of her 20. Hit that high of $1.72, and she sat here for a few days on this very strong support at $1.05. When she comes up, that's going to be a very strong resistance. She's going to have to fight to get through that. She dropped hard down to the 50, bounced back up, and then dropped hard underneath it, banging her head on it. Been under the 50 for a long time, and it was just last week she started to run again. From 33 cents up to 80 cents, we were at 150% run, just up underneath the Fibonacci. That became our strong resistance. She's hitting her head on that. I'm going to leave that Fibonacci there. I'm going to use that when we get back up there for my supports and resistances. Right now, we are in a reverse 200 squeeze. You've got your 200 haul on the top and your 200-day MA on the bottom. Does that make any difference? It's not like the head and shoulders. It's not like a double top or double bottom. When you turn those upside down, they become bearish and bullish. not with the 200 squeeze. It's always bearish. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to break out. I didn't mean bearish. I meant bullish. It's always bullish. This is always a chance to break out. Right now, this is squeezing on the price on top of the 50. It has a good likelihood, if volume comes in, that she can climb. That is always an option, folks. Let's come on down to our 1 hour. Now, looking good. Our 200 went flat right here. This is when she broke out. When it started to level off, she had a big jump. She came back down when it was totally flat. This is when she should have tested it and took off. She did test it, but she didn't take off. She came back down underneath it for whatever reason. That's what the test is about. Just because they broke out and come back down and bounce doesn't mean they're going to run. Most of the time, a lot of times they do, but you can't count on it. That's why we wait for confirmation. This looked really good. It looked like it was going to take off. But if you come down and look at your oscillators, you'll probably see that a lot of them were like right there. Oh my goodness. You can see right here, we had a crossover. Right in this area, our downtrend was getting very, very strong. You see that? The downtrend was coming up. While this was climbing right here in these bars, we could see a downtrend coming. Even though it didn't show up on the board yet, you could see it coming right here. And our uptrend is leaving the picture. Bing, bing, bing. Right there, we got a crossover. Downtrend in the picture. I love my ADX. Very clear, concise signals. I like signals. Difference, an indicator says watch. A signal says do something now. Looking at our other oscillators, at this point in time, our PPO is falling. We have a very strong downtrend on our ADX. Our MACD, it's kind of tight. Downtrend, falling under the signal line and continuing our fall. And our RSI is down there at 39. I've got to ask, what did you see in QNCCF? Did you own it? Tell the truth. A lot of people think I can find light at the end of the tunnel. I can't. I just show you what's there, folks. I'm going to come down to the 5-day, 15-minute. I don't see any hope here. Look at our ADX. That is really the giveaway here. This is at the very tippy top, 100%. It can't go any higher. We are pushing up at the very tippy top. And our strength guide is telling me it's getting even stronger up there. So we have a severe boil on a downtrend. I'm expecting this to fall. I expect it to probably come down to that low bubble again. Right now, we're at 48. Low bubble's at 45. Well, I think we could see a new low. Sorry. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that chart has got a lot of weight on it. Doesn't look like it wants to go up at all. 523. And I've barely got a voice left. Okie dokie. I need a drink is what I need. Patel, did you mean VRPX released positive results? I like seeing you guys talk to each other in there. While I'm talking, you guys can be sharing a ton of other stocks. I'm only talking about 5, 6. If we're lucky, you guys can share 20, 30, 40 amongst yourselves. Share your list. Shame we can't put pictures in there, huh? No, that's probably a good idea. God only knows what would be posted. So, folks, I think I'm going to call it a day right there. My voice is starting to go. We covered a few different stocks there. I'm not real sure why we looked at QNCCF. I get the feeling I missed something there. If you want to drop a comment, go ahead and drop a comment. That would be helpful. Let's see. Nope, don't see any more comments. That's okay. I'm not that popular yet. I just hit, I'm just over 5,000 viewers on YouTube. Thank you very much, folks. Hard earned. I know that's not a very big number, but those are hard earned. I've been at this for 3 years, and I am about 5,000 on Twitter. I'm sure there's a lot of crossover there between Twitter. So I appreciate you guys and gals following me. If you don't follow me everywhere, folks, you should, because I give a lot of different types of information every single morning from 7:20 till 9:30 in the morning. Well, let's call it 9. I am posting pre-market news. I post it on Discord, I post it on Twitter, and I post it on 2 Facebook sites. Every single morning without fail, folks. I've been doing this for years. I also am over at Penny Boys every single day from 9:30 to 4 o'clock. You want to find me? That's where I'm at. You got a hot stock you want to share with people? Bring it into Penny Boys. Just hit the link down below. It says this is the link to Penny Boys. If you don't have a Discord, don't worry about it. They'll ask you for a username, a password, and an email. You've got it. Jump on in there, go to the left, look for free members page. We're in there trading. Introduce yourself. Let me know you're there. I talk to people. I love meeting you all, folks. And then after market, I do a video. When I'm done with the video, I eat dinner. That's my first meal of the day. It is. That's about 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, I then post news after market. I go out and show you what the corporations have done with their stocks, post a hot market news that has been put out, and the biggest gainers of the day. Who else is doing all of that for you, folks? For free. Well, free for most of you. Some of you like to pay for my service. Thanks, buddy. Hint, hint. All right, folks. I appreciate your time. I hope you appreciate my efforts. If you do, make use of them all. Follow me wherever you can. I like you following me. Where are you? We'll see you next week, folks. Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I am twisting Taylor's arm to come and do some charting for us. I am, honest. See you, folks. Home Alone!